I was sent to a drug and alcohol treatment center in my early 20s, and at that drug and alcohol treatment center, one of the things they taught me was get on your knees in the morning and say this prayer, which is, Lord, I offer myself up to thee to do with me as thy will. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them will bear witness. And I was praying that prayer every day. And at night, when you get done, it was told you if you did a really good job, you just get on your knees at night before you go to bed, you just say, thank you. And you review your day. I wanted to get married. I wanted to have kids. We started to date. And as period would go on, we started to get more serious. And I expected her there to pick me up at the airport, and she wasn't there. So I get a ride. Tracked her down the next day, and we weren't connecting. It's like, what's wrong? And she wasn't wanting to talk to me. A couple days later, I finally said, we've got to talk. I sat her down. I said, you need to tell me what's the matter. And she looked at me. And she said, I had an abortion while you were gone. But I'm not listening. And I'm sure most of the guys that are in here will understand what's going to be going on in my head. And I'm sorry to tell you this is the truth, and I know I'm trying to keep it PG at least, but part of me wanted to throw her out the window. There's also the other parts of me that were like, really? You didn't ask me. I wasn't part of the decision. During our courting, she had told me that she'd had 4 abortions before. So I was only paying attention to the daughter, not to what she'd been telling me. And would say, danger, Will Robinson, danger. That's the first time that little bugger showed up in my head. His arms started to flap, and he would say, and Joe, run. Don't walk. Run. I was so hurt. I was so hurt. I honestly don't know if she talked to me after that as I'm walking out the door. You can't tell by my petite little frame, but I used to be a bicycle racer and a mountain bike racer. The very next day, I went for my very first 100-mile bike ride. At that time, there was a girl that used to run a store on 7th and Mendenhall. And she'd always ask me, can I ride bicycles with you? Can I ski with you? And I decided, you know what, if she really wants to ride bikes with me, and if she can survive that 1.5-mile goat trail, we're in. So for the next literally 18 months, me and Tanya, my wife, rode bikes. We skied over 90 days a year as I tried to work my way through what had happened. And after we got married, we just wanted to have kids, and it wasn't something we could do. We talked to a doctor at the Bozeman Clinic, and he said, a lot of it may have to do with the amount of bike riding you do. It really affects a male. And because of how much bike riding your wife is doing while she's keeping up with you, she hadn't menstruated in 2 years. He said that combination together means you're probably not going to have kids. We've seen 2 doctors. Those doctors have said, ain't going to happen. Remember, we're young and married, so you can understand. Now, in 1993, they aren't like they are now, where it's a guaranteed. So we bought 3. And she went to the bathroom, and she comes back with all 3 pregnancy tests. And she's sobbing. And I'm still, every morning, on my knees, saying what? Lord, I offer myself up to thee to do with me as thy will. When the first time I ever did that prayer, I got done with the prayer and I'm holding this guy's hands. And he looked me in the eye and he said, do you really think he was thinking that you were kidding? And I didn't know what that meant. And I had never really said anything. Me and Tanya talked a little bit about what had happened with that lady and the abortion. We had talked about it. I hadn't processed it. And I can't tell you what it meant to look into the heavens and say to her, I'm really sorry. I was an idiot. And I cost you your life. And to have mentors in my life that have sucked me out of that cesspool that I thought was normality and placed me on solid ground, I can't tell you what that means. What is a bucket brigade all about? It's about transporting that water to the fire and putting the fire out, then getting the bucket back to the well so it can go do it again. Today, as you can tell by my petite figure, I have more in my life than just top ramen and macaroni and cheese. I can do the filet mignon. I can do the porterhouse steaks. I can do the surf and turf crab and lobster. So I can do more. But it doesn't matter because the ultrasounds for Africa are huge. And that's a really big deal. I want you to understand how important buckets are, because I want a bucket brigade line from Bozeman, Montana, all the way across to Africa to show those kids and moms and dads and families just how important they are to Bozeman, Belgrade, Manhattan, Three Forks, the Gallatin Valley. They're crucial. Thanks.